Everyone, Alex here. Today we're going to be looking at a new song from Stone Temple Pilots called Meadow. This is their first song with their new lead singer, Jeff Goot. Stone Temple Pilots, they were a huge grunge act back in the 90s with multi-platinum albums, Core and Purple, both really great albums. I know a lot of people love them, and yeah. These last 2 years have not gone over well for them. In November 2015, they parted ways with lead singer Chester Bennington, who left so he could go focus full-time on Linkin Park, his main band, of course. If you guys followed me on my old channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of Chester and Linkin Park. Then a month after that, Scott Weiland, their original frontman, who Chester replaced back in 2013 after he was fired, died. And I was definitely sad by that because I was a huge fan of his work with STP. While I knew there was no chance of they were going to reunite with him, I thought maybe that was their best bet, just get him back for a little while until they could find a new permanent frontman after Chester left. I knew that wasn't going to happen, though. I thought that was their best option, but knew it wasn't going to happen, but it still hurt to see him go. And then they took 2016 off for pretty much the whole year. They did one show with Chester for a reunion show for a charity, and they had an online audition for a new lead singer. And over 15,000 people signed up, and then they kept 2016. They hardly said a word about it after March of that year. I mean, there were rumors about this Filipino guy named John Borja getting the job, but that was obviously not true. And then in July of this year, of course, Chester passed away. He killed himself. You guys know, if you guys follow me on my old channel, you know that I took that to heart because I not only am I a huge fan of Linkin Park, but I had tickets to go see them in concert just 2 weeks after that. I did a couple videos on Linkin Park on my old channel. I did a review of their most recent album, One More Light, back in May, and back in July after Chester died, I listed off some of my favorite Linkin Park songs. I'll put links to those down below if you want to check them out. That was on my old channel. And so, yeah, and at the beginning of this month, STP announced that they were going to be coming back on November 14th with a performance in Hollywood with their new lead singer. And I was stoked because I'd waited 2 years for this. I was ready. And so that person was obviously Jeff Goot, runner-up of Season 3 of the X Factor US. And I remember I watched him that season, and I did really like him. And so this is their first new song with him. And all I can say is it puts to absolute rest anything they've done with Chester. I mean, they only recorded 5 new songs with Chester, but if this song had been on the EP that they did with Chester, High Rise, back 4 years ago, this would have definitely been the best song on the album. This song is Meadow. It is awesome, and I just can't stop listening to it. It is that good. I've listened to it at least 15 times already, and it was only released 2 days ago, so that's like 7.5, no, it's been like 3 days, like Wednesday, Thursday, now Friday. That is 5 times a day on average. And like I said, maybe more times than 15, but still, it is a really catchy song. And it's definitely STP with a more modern spin on it, because it definitely feels like with like synthesizers, something I haven't really heard from STP before. Maybe I'm missing out on something. I haven't heard all their songs. I've heard their big hits. I've heard some other songs, but maybe I'm just missing out because I haven't really heard a lot of synthesizers. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not too much. So yeah, I can definitely feel it's a lot more modern. It's a more modern take on an STP classic. That's what it kind of felt like. I mean, this is obviously a brand new song, but that's what it kind of felt like, and I just love it. Now, I'm not saying the song is perfect. It's very close to it. My only very, very minor flaw, just this close, this is how small the problem is with the song. The only problem is that Jeff's voice, it sounds like they're distorting the hell out of his voice to try to make him sound like Scott. It just doesn't, I mean, I know, like, when I watched him on the X Factor, I mean, this was before I got introduced to STP, but after I did and I started listening to their music, I do say Jeff does kind of sound like Scott on his own, so he doesn't need all that distortion. Now, I'm saying it sounds like that. I'm not saying they actually did it, because I actually did, like, listen to a sound check from one of their live performances, and he did sound like that as well. So this is what he's obviously making himself sound like. No distortion, no auto tune. But that's what it still felt like, and he doesn't need all that. But after I listened to it a couple more times, I could definitely say yes, this is definitely him singing. I mean, if you had showed me the song and asked me who is singing this, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. But that is my only minor nitpick with this song. Everything else is awesome. And I think that I'm really looking forward to the new album that's going to come out hopefully spring of next year, they say. And I'm definitely going to go see them in concert when they come close to Connecticut. Maybe when they come to Connecticut, who knows? So yeah, the only flaw is that it doesn't really sound too much like him. I mean, it does a little bit, so I mean, as I listened to it more times, it sounded more like him. So, like, just kind of trying out maybe some sounds with his voice that we didn't really hear from on the show. Or that, not that I can remember anyway, so I'd say overall this track is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead right now, I'm gonna give it an A+. I know I may be going a little overboard on this, but this is a great song, and like I said, just way better than any of the songs they did with Chester. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Linkin Park. I'm a huge fan of Chester. I'm not like discrediting him for his contribution for the band. He did a good job with the band, but this song just I think Jeff is a much better fit for SDP than Chester was. Chester still did pretty good, but not as good as Jeff did, but yeah. So how does Jeff hold up to Scott? We already went over how he did hold up to Chester. I think if we're looking at a big picture, then Chester is better. But if we're looking at it with just Linkin Park, then Jeff is better. But when we compare him to Scott, is Jeff better than Scott? No. Is he almost on par with Scott? Almost, yeah, almost. He sounds very similar to him. Like I said, he sounded kind of like him when I looking back on the show. So I think he's a great choice for the band, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. I can't wait to follow on what they're going to do, and like I said, I give the song an A+. I already said that. But yeah, go check out the song. Go buy it. Show SDP some love. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you guys, sorry I haven't been posting lately. I've been really busy. But if you have any other suggestions for what videos I should do next, leave them in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.